Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening from sunny Norfolk. Not so sunny now, sun going down. Thank you to the Royal Air Force for providing the opening fly past. It took a lot of arrangement from Abby and I, mostly Abby, to get them to do a special fly past for us this evening. We thought you'd like that as an opening. And music. Yes, thank you, Travelling Man. We have got some new music. Not Abby's music this time.
No.
So welcome to quiz number 3 from Abby, supported by me. And we hope you'll like tonight. We're just going to take you through a few little changes, much vaunted changes. And welcome to all the new people that we haven't seen before. Cosford. Yes, thank you, Mark. It was. And as I say, just a few changes, and we'll take you through the how the quiz is going to work. We've taken some feedback on terms of some of the questions we asked before, some of the age ranges. We've done a full profiling of all the different people who've signed up and subscribed, so thank you for those subscribed. If you do wish to donate tonight, it's straight to EAAA, the East Anglian Air Ambulance, who are supporting the NHS. Sorry to anyone who's had any bad news today. The industry obviously going through a pretty tough time at the moment, and sorry to anyone who's suffering from either directly or indirectly from coronavirus. So we are going to go straight into the quiz itself. This music's going to keep getting in the way, but it will play in the background just to lull you to sleep. So if anyone drops off to sleep because of the music, then let us know. Hi from Abu Dhabi. Hi from Norfolk. Hi Avianca 757 from Colombia. Abu Dhabi. Yes, where else have we got this evening? Northumberland. So all over the place. The inner marker at Heathrow. Hi Bob. So we're going to take you through the quiz. So a few rules. It is for fun. So, and also we're not sure whether we've raised any money for the East Anglian Air Ambulance, but hey, let's have a go anyway if we can. The quiz chairman, I'll always try and be right even when I'm wrong. And those of you who enjoyed the first quiz, there were a few little mistakes, but we'll try and get past those. We have published the quiz in full after the event on YouTube. If you go there now, you won't find the 2 videos. We had to delete the 2 previous videos, but we will upload the PowerPoints, the presentations, if you want to do the first 2 yourself at home. And there are going to be 5 rounds of 10 questions, and we've been through all of the different copyrights, including the music, so we think we're all pretty sound as far as that's concerned. So, the rounds. There's 1 point per answer, per right answer, obviously, and 1 per official bonus point. There may be some unofficial bonus points that creep in, depending on what you put in the comments. By the way, please don't post the answers in the comments. We will leave the comments live during the quiz, because it's quite good to see any feedback, and if you spot anything that you think is wrong, you can point out there. So there'll be 3 rounds first. General knowledge, civil aviation and military aviation. We'll then take the round 1 and 2 and 3 answers, and then we'll take a mini break if we need to, and then we'll go on to aviation, people and history. We took some feedback and we've merged the people and history rounds together and introduced a new aviation, film, TV and music and any other media we could think of round. And then we'll do the round 4 and 5 answers, and then we'll do at the end. We have got a tiebreaker, so if any of you are playing in teams, James, I don't know if you've got your table assembled again this week, but we will have a tiebreaker or 2 at the end if you need it. There are something like 22 bonus points. Went a bit mad with bonus points. So out of the 50 points that you could get, there are also 22 additional points that you could get scattered around the different rounds, and hopefully it'll be clear as we go through the questions as to which ones they are.
And that's not including my bonus points either, people.
Yeah, so there's
points.
Abby can be known to award unofficial bonus points.
I'm just a nice person, I can't help it.
So if you ask in the comments, then Abby might well issue bonus points.
Flattery goes a long way.
Right. Yes.
He does, okay.
Okay. Hello from CPT.
Cape Town, isn't it?
Is that Cape Town, Andrew? Right. So we will get on with the quiz. And the first part, rounds 1, 2 and 3. We'll go through each of the rounds. It depends on how it goes. We'll go back and go through the questions again, or actually you might decide that you just want to say which questions you need to repeat. We'll play as we go along. So round 1 is a general knowledge round, And we'll start with the first question if you're all ready. Eyes down. I feel the need for a quiz, as somebody famous said. So round 1, question 1. Which UK rock band frontman can also fly a Boeing 747? And you get a bonus, the first bonus point, name the band. And round 1, question 1 is a bit of a trailer for what's going to be in round 5. So which UK rock band frontman can also fly a Boeing 747-400? And you get a bonus if you can name the band. And Abby might award other bonuses if there's other aspects of this that you can think of.
I'll think.
I don't know which variant of the 747-400 it is, but someone might know.
That's too particular.
So that's round 1, question 1. This is a very quiet track in the background. In fact, this is probably going to send you off to sleep, this one, first one. All of the backing music, by the way, is aviation themed backing music. So, but I've never heard half of it before. So, Justin. I didn't realise you used to work with that band. Right. So that's round 1, question 1. Round 1, question 2. How many undercarriage tyres does an Airbus A380 have normally? How many undercarriage tyres does an Airbus A380 have? Abby knew this one straight off, of course. Didn't you, Abby?
Mm-hmm. Compton VOR, that just shows.
Oh, Compton. Oh, not Cape Town VOR. No, it's okay.
So close, so close.
Oh, it's come back quickly, Avianca 757. That's good. Normally happens right at the end after the answers have been given. So, how many undercarriage tyres does an Airbus A380 have? Question 2. Round 1, question 3. What was the original name of JFK Airport, John F. Kennedy Airport? What was the original name of John F. Kennedy Airport? Better get that one right. So, round 1, question 3. The original name of JFK Airport. We're letting you in gently. Round 1 is intended to ease you into a full sense of security before we hit you with the
hard
stuff.
Including those. Oh, I meant 380.
Yes, including the nose, Mark. Every part of the undercarriage. I did put undercarriage because I originally thought there might be trolley wheels on the trolleys in the cabin, and you might get all a bit technical of counting the catering trolley wheels. So
I mean, you can get bonus if you do, but
right, round 1, question 4. In a Met forecast, those of you who can remember Met forecasts when you remember flying, what does the term octa mean in a Met forecast? And Abby will answer this straight off. What does the term octa mean? So, in the Met forecast, just if you're getting a bit rusty, what does the term octa mean? Round 1, question 5. Who was the first operator of the Airbus A380? Oh, there's far too many Airbus A380 questions got in here. But who was the first operator of the Airbus A380? And you get a bonus point, the second of the bonus points, if you know which year it was. You might get one of Abby's unofficial bonuses if you know which day it was. I don't know, so actually you could get lots of points if you want to guess that, because I don't know. So who was the first operator of the Airbus A380 and the bonus point for which year they took that aircraft?
a lot of A380 questions for one that doesn't have an A380 model. Gotta say.
A Kraken has been released, and to be aware of dangerous octopuses on the airfield. Someone's been watching
Airplanes.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Oh, yeah, okay.
isn't it?
Don't know. Mixture of the two.
Never too many questions. Well, yes. Thanks, Brandon.
I agree.
Abby agrees. We try and keep it in balance.
The A380 questions.
Round 1, question 6. Right. On average, your taste buds are how much less sensitive at 30,000 feet? On average, is it 15%, 30%, or 38% less sensitive? On average, your taste buds are how much less sensitive at 30,000 feet? And this is normal, not counting coronavirus symptoms or anything like that. On average, your taste buds are how much less sensitive at 30,000 feet? obviously in an aeroplane, in a cabin, as opposed to high altitude, low opening parachute jumps or anything like that. Your taste buds are how much less sensitive at 30,000 feet? Round 1, question 6. And you have 3 choices. Those who've flown and get food on board, can you remember what it tasted like? Will it get better when we fly again? Will there be any food? Round 1, question 7. Right, Air Transport Action Group. Those of you who joined the quiz last week, ATAG is a worldwide organisation, actually a very good organisation, Air Transport Action Group, based out of Switzerland. In 2019, they came out with a set of statistics, anti-flight shaming statistics. So aviation was responsible for what % of global carbon dioxide emissions from all transport sources? Was it 1%, 12% or 33%? So according to ATAG, in 2019, aviation was responsible for what % of global carbon dioxide emissions from all transport sources? Was it 1%, 12% or 33%? Oh, sorry, Justin. Good question, Andy. Are any A380s left flying?
Always. This is my vote to get them flying again.
We could do a whole quiz on who we think will fly again, when, with what.
Who knows? Who knows?
Round 1, question 8 then. NATS, National Air Traffic Services, as you all know, I'm sure, is a public-private partnership organisation. In 2019, what 6 airlines held shares in it? So there were 6 airlines that held shares in NATS in 2019. And you get 1 point for each of the 6 airlines. So a big boost if you know any more than one here. So public-private partnership as shareholders. In 2019, what 6 airlines held shares in NATS? And you get 1 point for each of the right ones. So next time you blame air traffic, you can work out whether you were one of the shareholders or not.
Next week's quiz sorted. We'll do
And
a
that's another
specialist.
bonus. That's one of Abby's special bonus points if you can do a drawing of the inner ear.
Because everything in HPL is worth it. Yeah, well.
So that's round 1. This is a nice another soothing track in the background here.
I just want to sleep in.
Round 1, question 9. Where is Moron Air Base? Where is Moron Air Base? I'm sure you all know that.
I should know that, I think.
Could be anywhere in the world, so I'm not giving you any clues. It is an air base, and
It's 2.
it was named in the top 10 funny named air bases or airports in the world. It wasn't number 1, but we can do that another time, because I won't tell you what the others are, because I might sneak some into if we do this quiz again. Is there a bonus point if I own shares in NATS? So that's round 1, question 9. Where is Moron Airbus? Airbase?
Airbus.
Airbus.
Airbus on the mind.
Again, Airbus again.
If we know what Moron was also. No, that's cheating, Dave.
And then round 1, question 10. Right, Bob, here's one for you. The total electrical capacity of a Boeing 747-8 can power how many 32-inch flat screens TVs on average? Is it 120,000, 240,000 or 480,000? So the total electrical generating capacity of a 747-8 can power how many 32-inch flat screen TVs? No time, unfortunately, to rush out and try that for yourself at the moment, if you could find any of those flat screen TVs at the moment. So the total electrical generating capacity of a 747-8 can power how many 32-inch flat screen TVs? They might need to be your brand, Bob, of course, but 120,000 of them, 240,000 of them, or 480,000 of them. And that is round 1, question 10. In fact, the end of round 1. Do we want to go back through the questions, or do we know them all? Oh, Bob.
There's a maths question there for you then, Bob.
Yeah, sorry, you only go for 42-inch screens, I know, but actually, well, 32-inch was all we could afford tonight for the quiz questions, so... Do we want to quickly whiz through? So in the comments, do you want to whiz through the questions again for round 1, or are you happy that you want to go on with the pain?
The pain.
So if we don't get any, please repeat them. We'll carry on in the next 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2 then. So round 2 is civil aviation. So it's basically a loose bucket for general knowledge questions that have a bit of a civil theme. So we'll carry on with civil aviation. And so thank you to James Mellon for the photographs and for Bob. So we have made use of photographs. We had some good feedback on. Thank you, Matthew.
Go on with the pain. We're not trying
Thank
to
you,
torture
Avianca 757. Octa to move on. Thanks, Bob. So there's a few more photographs in here because we've got a better source of photographs now. Copyright attributed. Thank you. So which airline is this? Round 2, question 1. Which airline is this? And you get a bonus if you know the aircraft type. And you might get one of Abby's bonuses if you know the precise aircraft type. I'm not sure that I do, but the precise variant. But it's obviously an airline tail, the bonus aircraft type. Thank you again, James. I hope you're getting some new commissions from this excellent set of photographs on Flickr that James has. And Bob, you got an excellent set of photographs, and we want to open up if we do this again, we have a few more weeks maybe, then we need some more photographs. So that's round 2, question 1. Round 2, question 2. So 2 aircraft types, the 2 main ones, because I'm sure actually somebody might start counting up the aircraft that are there. So the 2 big aircraft there, can you name the 2 main ones? And you get 1 point for each. We'll give you a clue. One of them's the helicopter and the other one's not. So that's as far as we can go, I'm afraid. So
It's a lot of fixed wing.
we've got have the obligatory helicopter question. So round 2, question 2. Somebody might be able to guess the airport. Don't know, but that might be one of Abby's bonus points.
Stop passing the bonus points to me.
So what are these 2 aircraft types? 1 point each. We mean the 2 main ones. Yeah, don't do it yet, James. In fact, don't do it until after the quiz is finished, please. Otherwise, you use up all of my my clues. Round 2, question 3. What aircraft type did City Flyer Express start with in 1992? What aircraft type did City Flyer Express start with in 1992? I'm sure you all remember City Flyer Express. We have eliminated some of the slightly older questions after we had some feedback. What about the aircraft in the background? What aircraft type did City Flyer Express start with in 1992? Round 2, question 4. Can you name the business aircraft type? See, we're fair to business aviation, helicopters, military, civil, Airbus, Boeing, Embraer, all comers. Round 2, question 4. Name the business aircraft type. No looking up the registration on Google. In fact, it's up to you really, but I'm sure you could find that quickly. I don't know which airport it's at. It's not a UK airport, I would hazard a guess, from the markings. Round 2, question 5. What was British Airways' first low-cost subsidiary called? What was British Airways' first low-cost subsidiary called? Actually, you might get a bonus if you know the aircraft type that they started with. But round 2, question 5. What was British Airways' first low-cost subsidiary called? We shouldn't cheers with water. You on water, Abby? You drinking water?
Brown water. A bit odd.
No, nothing's embarrassing about scores. This is for fun.
All for the fun.
It's just to remember why I do quizzes is because I wouldn't know the answers, so it's much easier to set the questions because then you know the answers up front. So it's always good to set your own quizzes. Otherwise, a bit of an outbreak of aviation quizzes. We noticed Airability are doing a quiz tomorrow night. So we're not precious, so we're happy to mention their quiz if they happen to mention ours. So round 2, question 5. You might get a bonus point if you know the aircraft type. Do you get a bonus for naming the CEO? No, Bob. Well, then you have to ask Abby. That's one of Abby's bonus points.
Yes.
Round 2, question 6. In what year did the Boeing 747-400 first fly? I did think about saying this variant of aircraft, but it wasn't entirely clear what variant it was because it could have been confused with another one, perhaps. So, in what year did the Boeing 747-400 first fly? Very dreamy music in the background.
It's asking for
It's
the
a
ID.
bit like a Vangelis type.
Do you have the name of it?
I'll tell you afterwards, James, because I can't remember. I've got it written down somewhere. So, in what year did the Boeing 747-400 first fly? Round 2, question 7. Name the UK airport. And you get a bonus if you know the aircraft type and the variant of it. Name the UK airport. I'm sure you all know that.
Is that a special livery?
Is it a special livery? I think it could be a special livery. I don't know. You might get a bonus, Rabbi, if you know what the livery is for. Name the UK airport, and you get a bonus if you know the aircraft type variant. Oh. Is Vangelis still alive? Sorry, I shouldn't say that, perhaps. Vangelis, he obviously still is, if you've worked with him in Qatar. Is that recently? So round 2, question 7, name the UK airport. Round 2, question 8. How many main exit doors are there normally on a Boeing 777-300? This is just to eliminate any special variants there might be, but there are a certain number of main exit doors, some different sizes, but main exit doors on a Boeing 777-300. This is testing your knowledge if you haven't flown one of those recently. How many main exit doors are there normally on a Boeing 777-300? He was then. Okay. Round 2, question 9. Well, this is whistling past this quiz. We were going faster than normal.
Don't think so.
Round 2, question 9. So, Iberia have some new female cabin crew uniforms. In fact, all the cabin crew have uniforms, but we're focusing on the female cabin crew uniforms. So, what's the primary colour of the new female Iberia cabin crew uniforms? And there are some other colours in the uniform. I didn't happen to know this, but there's a bonus if you know what the other colours in the uniform are, as drawn from the marketing brochure. So the primary colour of the new female Iberia cabin crew uniforms, I think they were just released just before lockdown. Mark, why would you know that? That's interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure which question it was.
Oh.
It's a tiny bit of a lag on the comment.
So the primary colour of the new female Iberia cabin crew uniforms. And then round 2, question 10. What airline is this? And as a bonus, what is the aircraft type? Which is possibly quite difficult. But so which airline is it? And what aircraft type is it?
Going to Heathrow quite a lot, didn't it?
I don't know. Did it?
Or was it Manchester?
How do you know it flew to Heathrow? It could be from anywhere in the world, I mean.
I've seen it. I'm to trim some question.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Which airline is this? Bonus aircraft type. Sorry, Mark, I thought you were talking about something else. So that's round 2, question 10.
Music is very interesting. We're not hypnotising.
So we'll take a bit of a pause just in case you need to consult Google or whatever you need to do about round 2 before we move on to round 3, military aviation. We should have some psychedelic lights going around the room with this in the background, perhaps.
It literally sounds like something like a hypnotism thing.
It's an aviation track. These are all aviation themed tracks. Right, so round 3, military aviation, we'll go on to. Oh. Music's a little loud. We've had some feedback. So if the music was too loud and you didn't hear any questions, we're happy to go through that again. This is where I make a cup of tea. Oh, you don't know, Bob.
I'm disappointed.
Right. Come on, everyone, you know this one. Name the aircraft type. What is this aircraft type? And it wasn't taken in the UK.
I can
You could
guess.
say name the wheelie bin in the foreground as well. You might get a bonus point if you can name the wheelie bin in the foreground for Abby. Don't know.
Well, it's definitely not the UK, that's for sure.
So name the aircraft type. Round 3, question 1.
Vangelis is alive.
Oh, Vangelis. Oh, okay.
Vangelis?
Vangelis. Round 3, question 2. There's obviously a tyre theme tonight. So we have shares from Goodyear or whoever. How many tyres are there on a Red Arrows Hawk? In fact, I think it's every Hawk, but how many undercarriage tyres are there in a Red Arrows Hawk? I don't think there are any catering trolleys to count tyre wheels on or tyres in the Hawk. So how many tyres are there on a Red Arrows Hawk? Ah, James, how do you know that was Bob's photo? So, how many tyres on a Red Arrows Hawk? Round 3, question 2. Not so painful so far, hopefully. Round 3, question 3. There are 2 quick reaction alert QRA bases in the UK. Can you name the 2, 1 point each? There are 2 quick reaction alert QRA bases in the UK. Been in the press quite a lot recently. Where are they? And there are 2 of them, we get 1 point each. Yes. I don't quite know. We have themes, Mark. So
This week is tyres. Last
tyres.
week was...
I'm not sure what it was
Top
last
Gun
week.
last week?
I don't know actually. Yeah, I didn't put the main sponsorship from the tyre manufacturers. Sorry. So,
Tiring. You get a point for the pun there, Andy. I'm liking it.
yes, I took the bin. It was photoshopped in. But do you know what it was called though, Bob? The name. So, round 3, question 4. Can you name this aircraft type? So, could it be a history question?
You think so?
Name the aircraft type. Still currently flying. Not maybe at the moment, but still currently flying, I believe.
The display.
Name the aircraft type. Joshua, you live very near one of them with the lag. Is that the bin?
No, the quick reaction alert.
Oh, okay. Not the bin. Sorry.
It's alright, I got you.
So that's round 3, question 4.
Brian.
Round 3, question 5. What jet military aircraft are you most likely to see at RAF Valley? So if you camped out at RAF Valley, what would you see the most of? Are you most likely to see the most of at RAF Valley? Thanks, Justin. So that's round 3, question 5. Anyone been watching the quiz that's sponsored by a beer? Is it Shipyard Ales? Anyone been watching the Sunday night quiz?
Inquisition, it's called.
Inquisition. Any other quizzes that you've been watching? Not that we want to get rid of you from this quiz, of course. The bin's called Dusty, thank you. Oh no, thanks Joshua. Not the bin, QRA. So jet military aircraft you're most likely to see at RAF Valley. Round 3, question 6. The RAF have an aircraft called the Sentinel R1. I think it's based at RAF Waddington, maybe. It's based on what aircraft type? So it's derived from an aircraft type. The Sentinel R1 is based on what aircraft type? I won't ask you how many 42-inch flat screen TVs you get into it, but that might be a question for next time. National Theatre.
Oh, Josh is there. Let's see him.
So the RAF Sentinel R1 is based on what aircraft type? Round 3, question 6. Round 3, question 7. What helicopter type or part of the helicopter is this? What helicopter type is this? Round 3, question 7. That's very ethereal, this music.
Actually.
I think this might be. We'll post on the YouTube thing, the track list
YouTube thing.
The YouTube thingy, the electric machine,
Bob.
the Internet of Things. So, what helicopter type is this? Round 3, question 7. Round 3, question 8. RAF Wittering is in what county in the UK? In what county is RAF Wittering? So you didn't think you'd have geography in a military round, did you? RAF Wittering is in what county?
Military and a geography round.
Geography in a military round.
I don't know, I heard it the wrong way around. Who said it?
RAF Wittering is in what county in the country? Round 3, question 9. Where is RIAT normally held? It's here for the fact that RIAT's not being held this year, of course, but where is RIAT, the Royal International Air Tattoo, normally held? Anyone been watching the flying displays? I think another flying display was published on Twitter today by a 9-year-old. I think produced a flying display of his favourite flying display.
I didn't see that one.
So Abby might do that. If we do this next week, she might do a little flying display in the background or something. Just,
That's what I'm here for.
yeah.
The entertainment.
Where is RIAT normally held? And then round 3, question 10. Can you name this aircraft type? Can you name this aircraft type?
Pointy one doesn't count.
No, pointy one, sorry, doesn't count. That doesn't qualify for one of Abby's bonuses. Round 3, question 10. Name the aircraft type. So Bob, do you need to go make a cup of tea? We can have a quick break here if you want to make a cup of tea. Round 3, question 10. So that's the end of part 1. We're going to go into the answers for rounds 1, 2 and 3, but we'll just take a bit of a pause there for you to think about any you've missed. If you want any other questions you think you want to know another go at, let us know. We'll just... Thank you. You haven't seen the top shelf of models. I think Bob might have more models than me, but I don't know. Anyway, so we'll take just a short break, but if you're ready to crack on, then put a number of readies in the comments list as well.
Right. Sure.
Military type aircraft, that's the type, right.
Bob's good for a tea.
Right, so we're ready to move on with the answers. We'll do the answers for rounds 1 and 2 and 3. Hand your questions around to someone else, or hand it to yourself, and we'll go through the answers. So, round 1, general knowledge, the answers. Military type aircraft, that's a type, right? Yes, it is. Right. Round 1, question 1 was Bruce Dickinson, and the band was Iron Maiden. So you get 2 points. In fact, in round 1, I think if my calculations are correct, there are 17 official bonus points, 17 official points available, so 10 plus 7 bonus points. Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden. How many undercarriage tyres does an Airbus A380 have? 22 on a good day. Hopefully 22 most of the time. 22 undercarriage tyres. Round 1, question 3. How many eighths of the sky are covered in cloud is the octa? How many eighths of the sky are covered in cloud? Do me and Josh get a bonus for just having different names? That's up to you, really. Yes, would be my answer. First operator of the Airbus A380 was Singapore Airlines in 2007. I don't know which month it was or day it was. If anyone does, then it's on the Airability quiz. I think I saw it on Facebook. But you have to sign up for a seat. It's a bit more complicated than this. You don't just turn up. You actually have to sign up for a seat. So that's the first operator of the Airbus A380, Singapore Airlines. Round 1, question 5 was Idlewild. New York Airport, JFK, was known as Idlewild.
Question 3 was JFK. What was question 3? Go back.
Question 3 was about Met.
We missed a question.
Question 5 was Idlewild. Oh, have I... In the answers, have I moved them around? It could be. Did I miss a question? I can go back. Sorry. It's one of those things. Is it Morecambe or Wise said that all the right notes, not necessarily in the right order? So by the time we get to the end of the round, you should have all the right answers, questions answered. Sorry, I did move some of them around to move them, to separate them, so that's my fault.
You missed an answer. Stand by. No answer for JFK.
So the original name of JFK Airport is Idlewild.
Okay.
And we'll just do a quick check here. Question 3 and 5 in the wrong order. Sorry, that's my fault then, James. I moved them around. So I've confused you.
JFK was meant to be question 3.
Okay. Sorry.
We're testing everyone.
Yeah, I just thought the music was obviously dropping. You'd be dropping off. We needed just to have a bit of a move around. Round 1, question 6. Hopefully that's in the right order. Was 30%. Your taste buds are 30% less sensitive at 30,000 feet on average. He says try to recover the poise and organisation from a shambolic round.
Not shambolic.
Oh, good. Thanks, Mark. Back on it. Round 1, question 7. So, not that I'm trying to make a point here, but I'm sure you will know this anyway, but next time you meet your neighbours or anyone, globally, aviation was only 12% of CO2 emissions from all transport sources and 74% was road transport. In fact, he says, getting on his soapbox, the global aviation industry produces around 2% of all human-induced carbon dioxide CO2 emissions. Oh, sorry, the CO2 is in the wrong way around. So, 12%. Round 1, question 8. So there are 6 airlines, and in 2019, there was British Airways, EasyJet, Virgin Atlantic, Lufthansa, Thomson Airways, and Thomas Cook Airlines. So 1 point for each of those, so a bit of a bonus fest if you know more than one of those. So British Airways, EasyJet, Virgin, Lufthansa, Thomson Airways, and Thomas Cook Airlines. Round 1, question 9. Moron is in Spain, 35 miles south of Seville.
Dave,
I'm sure you all knew that.
Get that.
Abby knew that, of course, straight off. Round 1, question 10. Don't know how many, if they're 42-inch Bob, but 480,000 32-inch flat screen TVs. See, you thought you'd never learn anything useless from this quiz, but actually there's a useless piece of information for you next time you walk past a 32-inch flat screen TV or a 747-8. So that's round 1, question 10. I think it's
Thompson
out of a...
and TUI, same. Oh, just a misspelling, I guess.
I think Thomson Airways is still the... Is it still on the AOC, Thomson Airways Limited? I don't know, but according to the powers that be, it's Thomson Airways Limited in 2019 that was the shareholder. TUI might have been the brand name. Britannia. Right, so there should have been, I think, 17 total if you take all the bonus points in round 1. So round 2 answers if you're ready to move on, if you've marked yourself. Round 2, question 1 is Thai Airways, and it's an Airbus A350. Do you know what variant it was? Don't know. It might be a 900. James can tell you when he shares the link after all these quizzes finish. Ever. Oh, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, that is true.
So, Thai Airways Airbus A380. So, the 2 aircraft, Lockheed TriStar and a Sikorsky S61N at Prestwick. So, you don't get a bonus point for that. So, 1 point each for a TriStar and an S61N. Round 2, question 3, ATR 42. City Flyer Express started in 1992 with the ATR 42, previously known as various other guises of Connect Air and other people, but City Flyer Express started in 1992 with the ATR 42.
I don't think you can tell by the tail.
No, I don't think you can, Mark.
Some people probably can.
You can if you knew what the photograph was like originally before you clipped it. Oh, bonus for the VC10. Was there a VC10 in that photograph? Oh, yes. Yeah, right in the background, Bob.
Wait,
well spotted.
Was it Bob's photo?
No, it's my photo.
Okay, then
Oh yes,
you get
okay.
bonus.
You don't get a bonus for each VC10 though, Bob, but
How
you can get a
close are you to
bonus for the
screen
VC10.
that one?
You must be looking on your 42-inch screen, of course. So. Fed by a 747-8 sitting outside on the inner marker at
The
Heathrow.
111's behind it. Is it 111?
Okay. Well, so I don't. The short 360 I was told was by the predecessor airline, but we'll check that afterwards. If you happy if you take a bonus point there, but I'll check it afterwards. But my source is obviously wrong if that's correct. So you can have a point for the short 360, but I'll check afterwards. Round 2, question 3. I've done that one. Round 2, question 4. Cessna citation 650. Cessna citation would be good enough for me, but you might disagree. You might think it should be. Forget the whole thing. Cessna citation 650. Round 2, question 5. Go with the Boeing 737, and Bob's going to reward anyone else at a bonus point if you know the CEO, because I can't remember who it was.
I think I was alive.
Go became part of EasyJet, I believe, in terms of the airline taken over by EasyJet. So the 747-400 first flew in 1988. 747-400 at Heathrow, of course, there, when there used to be aircraft taking off in a queue.
BMI hangar.
The BMI hangar in the back. Round 2, question 7, of course, with London Luton. Great photograph again, James. And it's a 737-700. In fact, if you want to be pernickety, it is a 737. Where did I write it down? 76N.
Ed Winter.
It's the variant.
Go CEO.
Oh, was it Ed Winter? Okay.
Or
Yeah.
Barbara.
Cassani, was it? Oh, Barbara, was it Cassani? Anyway, now on to question 7. I've just spoiled my question for next week's quiz now. So, round 2, question 8. How many exit doors? 10. Hopefully I've got that right, Mark. How many main exit doors are there on a 777-310? Round 2, question 9. The primary colour, so it's blue. In fact, it's sea blue. You can see I've read the marketing brochure here, and in fact you get a bonus because it also has red, yellow and natural hues on it. So blue, sea blue, so you get a point for blue as far as I'm concerned. And you can have as many bonus points if you happen to know it's red, yellow and natural hues, because that shows that you really are very close to reading this information. Mark, I think you said you knew that.
No, that was the other one.
So blue, sea blue.
The 777 question.
Round 2, question 10 is Etihad, and it's an A340-600. One of those 4-engined aircraft that maybe we won't see much of again in the future. Sad days.
Well, navy blue.
Navy blue will do, yes.
Go for it. It's a blue.
In fact, the Navy would say that the Navy is sea blue, I think.
I was like you.
So Etihad, Airbus A340-600. And then round 3, the military questions. Oh, the answers. So we don't know about the wheelie bin, but the aircraft in the background was a Lockheed C-5 Galaxy at an airbase near Wichita. Round 3, question 2. There are 3 tyres normally on a Red Arrow's Hawk. In fact, most Hawks. Round 3, question 3. RAF Lossiemouth and RAF Coningsby. So we don't know which one you lived next to. Whoever it was earlier who commented they lived next to one. Not the wheelie bin, the QRA bases. Lossiemouth and Coningsby. Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. Is it a G flight? Boeing B-17G? Don't know. It's at Duxford on a nice summer's day. That photograph. Round 3, question 5. Is the Hawk? Oh, another Hawk question. Had lots of Hawks. Oh. That must have been an interesting sight. And the Sentinel R1 is based on the Bombardier Global Express. Is it still called the Bombardier Global Express? The Global Express, anyway. I think it's based out of
spell scheme.
Yeah, I think it's based out of Waddington, the Sentinel. Round 3, question 6. Round 3, question 7 is the front end of a Lynx, an Army Lynx, an AH-1, I think. Western Lynx. Over Salisbury Plain. Bonus for Duxford. Oh, well, that's an Abby bonus point. Mark.
Go for it.
Yeah, Abby thinks you should have a bonus point for that, Mark.
Well, why not?
RAF Wittering is in Cambridgeshire. RAF Wittering is in Cambridgeshire. Round 3, question 9. RAF Fairford, of course. That's a picture of an ATP. And round 3, question 10 is a Tornado F3. Tornado's fine. F3, you could decide whether you think that's a bonus point knowing it's an F3, but knowing it's a Tornado for me is good enough. So that's the end of round 3, and in fact the first 3 rounds.
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
Or so we think.
So I think before we go on to round 2, parts 4 and 5, I'm just going to play that fly past again because I just think we will need a bit more flying. So we'll just do a quick fly past while you're doing whatever you need to do with the first 3 rounds.
That's better. Again, we're just testing you.
Right. So I'll try that again. So obviously the microphone was turned off, which is great tech problem, just so we could all appreciate the fly past. So hopefully you can all hear us again now.
Yes.
Right. So round 4, we've merged the.
Still? Wait, hold on. Steph said you can hear us. Yeah, it's working.
Right. So round 4. Just sorry for you didn't hear that. We have merged the previous round 4 and 5 into one round, Aviation, People and History, that leaves us for room for the new round that you're all looking forward to, the new round 5. So a mixture of aviation people and history, and I think there's a sound clip in here which hopefully we'll get right from a tech point of view. And so we'll move on with round 4. Round 4, question 1. Name the 2 dams that were breached by the dam busters, and you get a bonus if you name the 3rd dam that was damaged but not breached. Name the 2 dams that were breached by the dam busters. Bonus, name the 3rd that was damaged. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, everyone. So, the 2 dams that were breached by the dam busters and the 3rd that was damaged. That's round 4, question 1. Can you get a bonus point for the name of...
Yes.
Wow. Yes, you can.
Why not?
What about bonus points for which was the first Lancaster to breach the dam? Who was the pilot, navigator, tail gunner? No? We don't know those answers, do we?
If you do,
No.
please share them.
Someone will.
Do you know them?
No. Look them up. So name the 2 dams that were breached by the dam busters. Round 4, question 2. Where was the aircraft factory that built the Harrier? And where did they take off from when they were manufactured? Where did they fly from? So where was the aircraft factory that built the Harrier? And bonus, where did they take off from? I'm talking about the original Harrier, not any variants that were then subsequently built under license anywhere. What about the dog's name? Oh yes, you can't mention that, Bob, as you know. So where was
it on the film?
Where was the aircraft factory that built the Harrier? Bonus, where did they take her from?
Careful.
So the aircraft factory that built the Harrier. Round 4, question 3. This commentator, so we're going to attempt a sound clip which will play 3 times, and you need to know or to name the commentator and TV personality. You might get one of the unofficial bonus points if you know what aircraft that is being talked about. So we'll have a go with this, and if we get it wrong, it's on a loop, so we can play it a few more times.
No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane fuel tanks. No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane fuel tanks. No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane fuel tanks.
So do you know who that commentator, TV personality, call him what you will, is? And you might get an unofficial bonus point if you know what aircraft type he was talking about. We'll play it again at the end of the round if we need to, if we get any requests. So that's round 4, question 3. Round 4, question 4. Longish question, but so this is a segue into space. So who was the US Navy jet test pilot who commanded Apollo 13, and in what year did he command it? And you get 1 point each, so the name and in what year. And he flew an aircraft immediately before launching into space. What aircraft type? Just to test your av geekness, do you know what aircraft type that was? So the US Navy jet test pilot who commanded Apollo 13, in what year did he command Apollo 13? And what aircraft type did he fly immediately before going into space? It's from your county-ish. So that's round 4, question 4. Round 4, question 5. Who's the current UK Aviation Minister? You have to ask this question at the right moment. So the current UK Aviation Minister. Alright, we'll do Ambianca 757. It'll come back soon. If not, when you get the answers. So round 4, question 5. Who is the current UK Aviation Minister? Round 4, question 6. In what year was EasyJet formed? So when was it officially formed, listed? In what year was EasyJet formed? That's history, is it? History. What's the definition of history in terms of how far something is back in history? The past. Thank you.
Yesterday was history. There we go.
Yesterday was history. So, in what year was EasyJet formed? Is definitely a history question.
If George doesn't get this, shamed.
Yeah, anyone who doesn't get this right, who might have an association with EasyJet, we're going to drop an email, are we? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Round 4, question 6. Round 4, question 7. So there's a pilot who famously rolled an aircraft, barrel roll, I believe, whilst balancing and refilling a glass of tea on the combing, the top of the cockpit panel. Who is that pilot? And you get a bonus if you know what aircraft type it was. Some of you might be old enough like me to have seen it happen and be wowed by it. But
We'd be old enough like me and watch it on YouTube.
which you'll see it on YouTube. And if you haven't seen this, it's a good thing to watch afterwards on YouTube. Which pilot famously rolled an aircraft whilst balancing and refilling a glass of tea on the combing cockpit panel, top of the cockpit panel, and the bonus being the aircraft type. See, it's a combination of people and history. See,
There we go.
see,
There we go.
just shows how we can get these right sometimes. Round 4, question 7. Round 4, question 8. Who's the late Spitfire flying son of the famous Red Arrows and Spitfire pilot? Bit of a tongue twister there. Can you name the late Spitfire flying son of the famous Red Arrows and Spitfire pilot? That's good. Was it Tetley's tea? I don't know, Andy, actually. Which type of tea? Don't know. Can't get. Abby might give you a bonus point even for thinking of the type of tea. Can you name the late Spitfire flying son of the famous Red Arrows and Spitfire pilot? Was it actually hot tea or was it iced tea?
When does something change from second hand to antique following our history question? Yesterday.
So the late Spitfire flying son of the famous Red Arrows and Spitfire pilot. I can feel the tension mounting as we get towards round 5. Who was the chief test pilot of the British Concorde? Who was the chief test pilot of the British Concorde? Round 4, question 9. Antique is 100 years old. Is it 50 years? I don't know.
Not on my terms.
In this round, Mark, everything that's yesterday and beyond
Christmas
is
Day.
history. And then round 4, question 10. The A350, is this history? In what year did the Airbus A350 first fly? We've had a few Airbus A350s as well. Airbus,
Fuel.
and maybe I don't know how many Boeings. We'll have to do an Airbus Boeing count.
We'll have a round. Boeing versus Airbus.
Ah, Justin, just you wait for the final round. In what year did the Airbus A350 first fly?
Apparently it's iced tea.
Not a good round for this one. Ah. It was iced tea poured from a pitcher. Ah. So in what year did the Airbus A350 first fly? So that's the end of round 4. So does anyone need any questions read again? Please come on here in the comments if you need any questions read again. Do you need to hear the sound clip again?
Question the same. So made me feel.
Right, so we'll just wait a couple of minutes because there's a bit of lag on the comments sometimes to see if we need to have any questions repeated before we go on to the new round. Thanks, Mark. Not enough Boeing questions. Well, we'll do a test afterwards. We always try and keep things in balance. Do we have enough Embraer questions
We have a lot
tonight?
of
Do we have any
777s.
Embraer questions tonight?
We didn't, no.
We had sound again, please. Okay, so we'll just do the sound clip again for. Let me just turn this off.
Fuel tanks. No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane. Fuel tanks. No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane. Fuel tanks. No, it's quite nearly, not quite, but nearly the speed of sound. It's like 700 odd mile an hour. That's a lot of plane. Fuel tanks.
So that's the end of round 4, and we'll go into the final round. So it's not a music round, it's a question-based round at the moment. We don't yet have a way of solving the copyright issues that means we can make it a music round, but we're working on it. So actually this is going to be a combination round of aviation, film, TV and music, but music in questions, if that makes any sense at all. Probably not. So let's move on to round 5, question 1. What aircraft type was the main feature of the film 633 Squadron? Can you hum the tune? No, that was an unofficial thing. You can hum the tune if you like. We can't judge it, unfortunately, unless you can put the notes into the comments. What aircraft type was the main feature of the film 633 Squadron? The aircraft type that was the main feature of the film 633 Squadron. You're welcome, Matthew Craig Taylor. Round 5, question 2. Who was Iceman's rear in the film Top Gun? Who was the rear in Iceman's aeroplane in the film Top Gun? Brandon, how do you know that?
I had quite a few airplane questions.
Who was Iceman's rear in the film Top Gun? Round 5, question 3. There's an aircraft type that features, as I'm sure you all know, if you start humming it, in the 1972 song It Never Rains in Southern California. And you get a bonus point if you know who sang the version, the 1972 version. So we see we're straying off into music, not even necessarily all aviation. So the aircraft type that features in the 1972 song It Never Rains in Southern California. Bob, you could vouch for that. Bonus, who sang this version? So that's round 5, question 3. Round 5, question 4. Who played the US President in the 1997 film Air Force One? Who played the US President in the 1997 film Air Force One? What?
Josie's never seen Top Gun.
Josie, you've never seen Top Gun?
Wow.
You must see Top Gun. That must be your pre-end of lockdown. Because you can't.
I'm afraid to watch it every day for the rest of the lockdown.
Yeah, I feel the need to watch Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't possibly watch Top Gun 2 when it comes out if you haven't seen Top Gun 1. Antique music.
Round 5,
What's
question
the name of the...
Oh.
Round 5, question 5. What was the food dish? See, you were waiting for one of these questions. What was the food dish that poisoned the crew and the passengers in the film Airplane? What was the food dish that poisoned the crew and the passengers in the film Airplane? So we've gone into food. All the things we've covered now. Food, music, media, films, Airbus, Boeing.
Flexible is what we are.
So, round 5, question 6. See, if you watched last week, we had another helicopter question. That was the helicopter in Thomas the Tank Engine. So this is the name of the helicopter in the books and TV series by Sarah, Duchess of York Ferguson. There was a helicopter in the books and TV series by Sarah, Duchess of York Ferguson. Do you know what the helicopter was called?
It's a recent song that features A380 in the lyric.
Oh.
I don't know who or what it is.
No, you're going off on a tangent on that question. So.
Don't even know.
No. So the name of the helicopter in the books and TV series by Sarah, Duchess of York Ferguson. Round 5, question 7. Time's flying when you're enjoying yourself. Who is the fighter pilot brother of the famous UK film star? Both appear in aircraft TV documentaries, including the documentary RAF at 100. So there's a fighter pilot brother of the famous UK film star. Both appear in aircraft TV documentaries, including RAF at 100. It's a very quiet track. Well, here it is, coming on now. So that's round 5, question 7. Round 5, question... Round 5, question 9. So I'm sure you all know this song, Tom Ford by Jay-Z. I listen to it all the time. What famous aircraft type features in the lyrics? So in Tom Ford by Jay-Z, either the live version or the studio version or the remix version, in Tom Ford by Jay-Z, what famous aircraft type features in the lyrics?
I have a question on sport.
Sport aviation. So round 5, question 9. I'm sure you listen to it all the time as well. And Tom Ford by Jay-Z, what famous aircraft type features in the lyrics? And then the last question of round 5. In fact, the last question of the quiz. Round 5, question 10. What's 8?
You missed an 8.
I don't tell me I've missed an 8.
We can't count. Oh,
Is
it's an
that
8.
Oh.
We're not done it.
Oh, did I miss 8?
Okay.
Sorry, I pressed 2 keys. Wow. We're really getting into the groove now, the third quiz. All the tech issues have gone out. Round 5, question 8. So, just imagine this happened. You went into a time warp. What happens at 30,000 feet in the film Flight Plan? What happens at 30,000 feet in the film Flight Plan? And you can get a bonus if you know the type of aircraft that the fictional aircraft is based on, the fictional aircraft in the film. So something happens at 30,000 feet in the film Flight Plan. Another film to watch. So, and you get a bonus point if you know what type the fictional aircraft is based on. How can we miss that? It's good that everyone's awake out there anyway, so obviously the music's not lulling you all to sleep.
Yeah, the music's working us apparently, not everyone else.
So round 5, question 9, you have this feeling you've seen this before. Deja vu. That's not the name of the song. Tom Ford by Jay-Z, what famous aircraft type featured in the lyrics? Probably hear like you've heard this lots of times now. And you've probably heard this as well. The last question of the round, the quiz. Round 5, question 10. So there was a TV series created by David Williams and Matt Lucas. And you get a name for the TV series. You get bonuses if you name each of the airlines. And you get, so bonus point first, a point for the airport. So the main question is the name of the TV series created by David Williams and Matt Lucas, and you get a bonus point for each of the airlines and a point for the airport. So round 5, I think, has 15 official answers, official points. Round 4 has 15, and round 3, which we've done, has 11. So we will go on, if you're happy, unless you want any more of the round 5 questions repeated. We'll go on to the answers for rounds 4 and 5. And then we can have a full count up. I think out of 72 will be the total for the 5 rounds.
Name of the airport in the series or where it was filmed in real life. Airport in the series.
The airport in the series. Good question. I think we've got the right answer. You'll tell us if we don't get the right answer. Right, so the round 4 aviation people history answers.
It's from the. Have you seen the program? You haven't seen it, have you?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. So round 4, question 1. The Mona Dam, the Ada Dam, or the Ada Zay Dam, and the bonus is for the one that was damaged but not breached, which was the Sorpy, or the Sorper. Those of you who are good at German better than me. So the Mona Dam, the Ada Dam, Ada Zay, and the bonus is for the Sorper. So that's round 4, question 1. Round 4, question 2 was Kingston, and the aircraft were then transported to Brooklands, where they were then dispatched from there. Those of you who were here for the round, I think was it 2 rounds ago, right? Brooklyn still holds the record for the most departed manufactured aircraft in Europe.
Ask Justin.
We can ask Justin.
Got no coffee. Bonus for designer.
Round 4, question 3 is Guy Martin, and he's talking about the Vulcan. If you've not seen that, about XH558, where he did a fast taxi, etc. So Guy Martin is the commentator TV personality. Ah, small world, travelling man. Round 4, question 4. James Lovell in 1970, and he flew there from Houston in a Northrop T-38 Talon that all the Apollo astronauts had as their own personal vehicles, as well as a Corvette Stingray, I believe. So round 4, question 4. Jim Lovell, 1970, so a point for each of those and a bonus point if you got the T-38 as the aircraft. Round 4, question 5. Who is the current UK Aviation Minister? Kelly Tolhurst MP. She is the MP for Rochester, also the Marine Minister, Maritime Minister. I'm sure you all knew that. I think her inbox is quite full at the moment. So the Aviation Minister, Kelly Tolhurst MP. Round 4, question 6. In what year was EasyJet formed? 1995? March 1995, I think, possibly. But it was 1995. Round 4, question 7. I'm thinking we were missing questions. I'm just checking as we go along. It was Bob Hoover, and the aircraft was the Shrike Commander. I believe the story is that he was hired because the aircraft was wasn't selling very well, and actually he then took it up and did all of the aerobatics and various things just to sell more of the aircraft, and demonstrated that things that they didn't even know they could do with the aircraft. So fascinating chap, died quite a while ago, I think, but fascinating chap, worth looking at on YouTube and in Wikipedia.
He rolled the 707, right? Is it him?
No,
Someone
that's
else.
Tex Johnson rolled the 707, I think.
I think.
Barrel rolled the 707. Round 4, question 8. Is Mark Hanna, son of Ray Hanna, tragically killed in a Spitfire accident? Round 4, question 8. Round 4, question 9 was Brian Trubshaw. And finally in this round 4, question 10, 2013, the Airbus A350 first flew. So round 4 has a total of 15 points, so 5 bonus points, 10 points and 5 bonus points. I've never seen a C-130 barrel rolled. I'll have to look at that on YouTube. Thanks, Mark. So round 5 answers. Round 5, question 1 was the Mosquito. 633 Squadron, in fact. 633 Squadron and Mosquito Squadron shared a lot of the same footage. So if you want a couple of good movies to watch, actually if you watch both at the same time, you realise how much of the same footage they share. Round 5, question 2 was Slider. Rumours in the press at the moment about Iceman and Slider, apparently.
Apparently have a real life Slider watching. Apparently he's meant to comment soon. In the US Air Force, apparently.
Ah. So, Slider, round 5, question 3 was a Boeing 747, got on board a westbound... Abby, do you want to sing it?
No.
Got on board a westbound 747, and the bonus point, Albert Hammond sang that version. There were, I think, various other versions, Cher and people like that, but this particular version. So it's a Boeing 747. Round 5, question 4 was Harrison Ford, of course. It's me.
Could be Slider, I think.
Ah, are you Slider?
So who was Jester?
Jester was the
Behind Hollywood, wasn't he?
instructor, one of the instructors.
Was he? Was
Yeah, Jester and Viper, who I believe were the instructors. Someone correct me with that.
Who's with Hollywood?
Josie, when you watch the film, you'll better tell everyone what the answers are. Round 5, question 5. It was the fish. I'm sure you all knew that. It was the fish. Great film, watched it again the other day. Classic. What was the name of the autopilot, by the way?
Yeah, Jester was one of the
Jester was one of the instructors. Jester and Viper, I think. Viper was in the previous
Yeah.
last quiz, or the last quiz but one. Viper was the chief instructor, and I think Jester was the second chief. Round 5, question 6 was Budgie the helicopter.
I'll let everyone know next week. Thanks, Josie.
Yes.
Hollywood was another one of the students, yeah. Who was with Hollywood, though?
Hollywood was the
was the
wingman
one
who was shot
Shot
down.
down. But who was the one behind him?
I don't know. So Budgie the helicopter.
Autopilot. There we go. Otto was
Ah.
autopilot.
What was the female autopilot though when they took off for the final? Sorry, Josie.
She's nameless.
Oh.
Apparently.
Round 5, question 7. Colin McGregor, brother of Ewan McGregor. Tornado pilot, I believe he was. Colin McGregor. Round 5, question 8 was the child vanishes. So what happens at 30,000 feet? The child disappears and the aircraft is... So sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen that film yet. It's based on an A380, Airbus A380.
Interesting film.
Interesting film. Round 5, question 9 was Concorde. Someone was asking earlier for another Concorde question. So Jay-Z in the song Tom Ford said, bring back the Concorde, sang bring back the Concorde, or
Right,
rapped, or...
Come.
Abby will do the version afterwards.
No, it's okay.
And then last question. It was Come Fly With Me, of course, the series. The 3 airlines were Flylow, Air Lady Air and Great British Air, and the airport, at least as far as my source is concerned, was London Stansted. So lots of points there. A point for Come Fly With Me, Flylow, Our Lady Air and Great British Air, and London Stansted. Round 5, question 10. So I think there's a total of 15 points available in round 5. So the total at the end of the quiz, so it should be out of 72.
Robin Hood Airport. There was 2 though, wasn't there? Stansted and...
We'll give you a point for that, Josh. We'll check afterwards. So that's a couple we need to check on. So we'll check the London Stansted one, but you can have a point for that anyway. Yeah, go and watch it to be sure. So you can award yourself a point for that. So the total is out of 72. So we'll leave the music playing in the background.
It's both of them.
So it looks like it's both of them. So you can have a point for each. And we'll look on here, leave the music going a little bit. We might do the fly past one more time just to remind you what flying looks like. And please start posting your scores and we'll start reading some of them out when we come back after the fly past. So that's the end of the quiz. So thank you for... We'll leave the music going and the pictures live just so we can look at the comments. Thank you for all tuning in tonight. We were happy to do it again next week if you'd like it to happen again next week. Any more feedback? If you think the rounds were too easy, too hard, wrong mix, we're happy to make some changes. You'll be pleased to know we haven't even started next week's yet. So happy to take the feedback, happy to do it again. And happy to continue looking at your comments for as long as you want to. And we'll see you all next week, hopefully. And keep safe, keep well, and looking forward to aviating again soon. Thanks very much, and good night.